HISUIAN Zoroark is the normal Ghost-type variant of Zoroark, the Pokemon we know and love from Gen 5. This was introduced in Pokemon Arceus Legends, but is now available in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet via Mystery Gift. And ladies and gents, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like, and subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon stuff. So today we're going to be looking at a few movesets that you can use for this Pokemon. So its stats are basically the same as the regular form, but they took off a little bit of health and attack and put it into special attack and speed. Which is better actually, because now you hit a better speed tier, and you hit harder on the special side, which is mainly what Zoroark does anyway. It still keeps the illusion ability, so first thing I'll say is that you want to pick the right Pokemon to disguise as. Whichever Pokemon you put in your final slot is the Pokemon Zoroark disguises itself as. For this particular Zoroark, the normal ghost form, I would recommend using a fighting type, because fighting can take dark type moves, and you can also bait in other ghost types so you can hit them hard with a Bitter Malice or a Shadow Ball. That's my recommendation, but obviously based on the rest of your team, you will pick the best option, and based on their team. It's really one of those things that you have to decide when you see the team preview. You don't always know what the best disguise is going to be, but generally, I'd try and pick a fighting type. So the first moveset we're going to take a look at is the very simple, very effective Choice Specs Zoroark. So like I said, you want to disguise yourself as some kind of fighting type, or maybe a wall just to throw the opponent off and they don't expect something so powerful. So you got your Hyper Voice there for your main stab. Nice and powerful move, goes through substitutes of course because it's a sound based move. You got Flamethrower there for steel types mainly, so I'm thinking stuff like King Gambit that comes to mind. We got Bitter Malice there. Now on all of these movesets, Bitter Malice and Shadow Ball can be exchanged as you please, it doesn't really matter. Shadow Ball will sometimes lower their special defense, which is nice, but Bitter Malice will always lower their attack, which is nice. Obviously Bitter Malice is a little bit weaker, but it's 5 points, it's not really a huge amount in base power. So, up to you. I'm just going with Bitter Malice here because it's a new move. And then finally we have Grass Knot. I think Grass Knot will be useful in the higher tiers. You've got stuff like Ting Lu, which is going to take a lot from this. You've got Dondozo to hit pretty hard. You've got just bulky waters in general. And also stuff like Great Tusk. Grass Knot will one-shot an Assault Vest Great Tusk, which is a very good calc to know. And we got the Terra Normal there just to hit a little bit harder with the Hyper Voice. Next one I'm going to take a look at is the Swords Dance set. Now I don't think it's going to be as effective as a special set, but it does get access to Swords Dance, so it seems a shame to waste that. I have no idea why Showdown's giving me that particular spread, so we're going to fix that now. So you got Max Attack, Max Speed of course, with the Swords Dance. Shadow Sneak is going to be obviously a great priority move to have. Low Kick there is for stuff like King Gambit, again, like I said, a lot of heavy mons will take a lot of damage from this thing. And then Knockoff. So I figure Terra Dark on this one because Knockoff is more spammable than a fighting move. If you wanted to, you could go with Terra Fighting with Low Kick or Terra Blast, and then Knockoff again still. That's my recommendation. But honestly, I think this is better. Changing into a Dark type means that you resist Dark as well. Same with Fighting, but Knockoff I think is just the more spammable move. So that's my recommendation. Lumberry there of course is to avoid stuff like, let's say a burn from Volcarona, or Toxic, something like that. Again, not the best set to run on this thing, but it can definitely work. Next up we have the Nasty Plot set. Now Zoroark of course, both forms of Zoroark get access to Nasty Plot and Swords Dance. And this one can definitely put the Nasty Plot set to better use, in my opinion. So you got Shadow Ball there, again, that could be Bitter Malice if you want to. Terra Blast. Terra Blast functions as a good normal stab, but also on this particular set you've got the Terra Fighting, so you can use essentially Aura Sphere with the Terra Fighting Terra Blast. It does get Focus Blast, but nobody likes Focus Blast, so I try and avoid that wherever possible. And then finally Psychic, just as a different choice. Psychic will hit stuff like Amoonguss for example, that might try and eat a special hit. Or Clodsire, maybe a nice special defensive Clodsire. So you got some decent coverage there. Flamethrower is also another choice, of course. And finally, obviously we've got to throw a meme set in there somewhere. This is the Focus Sash Support set. Now Willow has been taught are fairly standard ghost moves. You know, good to cripple stuff and then prevent defog or hazards or whatever. So, you know, pretty useful moves to have. Memento is for when you're very low. So you can lower the opponent's stats and give yourself an opportunity to set up with your next Pokemon. Generally a good move on hyper offense teams. Comeuppance is a weird one. Now, I'm only running this because very few mons get Comeuppance, and I think it's pretty cool. It's the same as Metal Burst, but it's Dark-type move. It's not like Counter and Mirror Coat in that it doesn't have negative priority. So Counter and Mirror Coat you can run and you will always go last, which means that if they hit you, you return back with double damage. Comeuppance doesn't do that. So it might look weird that I'm running max speed on this set, that's just for Will-O-Wisp and Taunt. The idea is that you can throw this on the field when they set up with something powerful, e.g. Hawlucha, let's say something like that, like a +2 Acrobatics Hawlucha. If you then go for the Comeuppance, you will destroy it, basically. That's the plan here. I'm not saying it's an effective set, but it's quite a funny set. We gotta throw a meme on in there somewhere. So there you have it, that's my thoughts on HISUIAN Zoroark. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you will enjoy using this Pokemon. Let me know where you think it's going to land in the Smogon tiers. I'm undecided. It's very nice typing, pretty good move ball. Possibly UU? Maybe OU, I don't know. Too early to tell, but thanks for watching guys. See you all later.